Hello, this is RJ from Game News USA, and today we're going to go over a personal movie review of mine. To me, there was nothing really going on in theaters that was worth talking about this week. It was kind of a slow week. So I could have decided to just not do a video about anything going on in theaters. But I decided, you know what, on weeks that there is nothing to talk about new, why don't I go back in the past and talk about movies I really liked? And why don't I particularly look at comedies? Because comedy is mostly dead in theaters nowadays anyways. So we kind of have to go back to the past. Stuff from the 90s and the 2000s that were really funny. Stuff that I grew up with that I really enjoyed. And so today we're going about 30 years in the past. And we're going to just talk about Dumb and Dumber from 1994. Just a little bit, do some reminiscing. So, thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, first, let me explain. Jim Carrey is probably the funniest actor of all time, in my opinion. It's between him and Adam Sandler. But, if I had to pick the best Jim Carrey performance, although Liar Liar is a close second, I believe Dumb and Dumber was his best performance. Yes, he's been in plenty of other funny, hilarious movies. But Dumb and Dumber to me is a movie I've watched so many times. And so often with modern movies, I don't rewatch them. Dumb and Dumber, I would rewatch right now if I had the feeling. Because it just has scene after scene after scene of hilarious moments. And I kind of just want to talk about these moments. But first, I'll put this out there. If I had to give this movie a score, it's a 5 out of 5 stars from me. I don't really care what Metacritic says or what other reviewers say. I'm not even looking at that. I just want to describe why I think Dumb and Dumber is so funny. And if you haven't seen it, give it a chance. And if you have, let me know in the comments below what you think about Dumb and Dumber. So, first let me say, there's been some prequels and sequels to it, and I don't find any of these to hold up compared to the original. The original is the original, the standard is the standard, and that is the original 1994 Dumb and Dumber. Immediately starts off with a hilarious musical angle. Jim Carrey, who's playing Lloyd Christmas, chasing a briefcase. Almost a Beavis and Butthead like Dumb and Dumber characters. You know what I'm saying? Where they're kind of, I don't know if Beavis and Butthead's even based off them or not, honestly. But they're kind of dumb. They kind of both do dumb things. They do dumb things to each other, dumb things to others, get rejected by women, and it's hilarious stuff. So, this chick leaves a briefcase. He rushes after it. He tries to find her, can't find her. Little does he know till later in the movie, spoiler alert, but it's 30 years old, there's a bunch of money in that briefcase. And when that briefcase does get opened up, they spend a whole lot of it and replace it with IOUs. Now this money is supposed to be ransom money for her husband. Now Lloyd, that's who Jim Carrey plays, Lloyd is convinced that Mary is in love with him. And so he thinks by returning the briefcase that was supposed to be ransom for the husband, that he is able to convince her to be his love. And this results in some hilarious consequences. First of all, I love buddy comedy movies. And I love buddy comedy movies with a road trip. And this has both. A cornerstone of those kind of movies. You have bad guys trying to chase them because they have the briefcase, and they end up dying along the way. Like the big guy who needed his medicine, but he got given the rat poison that he actually wanted to give to Harry and Lloyd. And even when they take something so morbid, they can make it so funny. So, he keels over, Lloyd laughs, Harry laughs, it's funny. There's also a time they fuck with some guys in the diner. They drive away. There's a time that a cop pulls them over, and Lloyd pissed in a bunch of beer bottles, and guess what happened? The cop drank it. And it was hilarious stuff, man. And I don't know why studios can't make hilarious stuff like this again. There's even a scene where Lloyd and Harry are riding on a little moped, little motorbike, and Lloyd has to pee, and Harry says, "Just go, man, just go." And he pisses all over him. It's hilarious stuff. They're fighting, one of my favorite scenes. They're fighting over gloves. Lloyd and Harry is completely freezing. His hands are totally freezing. If you've ever been out in the fucking cold, you know how cold your hands can get. So, Lloyd goes, "Do you want these extra pair of gloves?" And he had 2 gloves on the whole time. And so Harry got so mad, he starts to choke Lloyd out. And that's how the briefcase falls and gets flung and opens up, and they find the money that's inside. There's also these hilarious cutaway scenes. And then remember, this is prior to Family Guy. These hilarious cutaway scenes where Lloyd's just imagining things. And there's cutaway scenes where Harry's imagining things that are absolutely hilarious. So yeah, lots of slapstick in here. Lots of sarcasm and toilet humor, and you name it. The humor in this movie is chef's kiss. And I absolutely recommend it. I wish we got comedies like this nowadays. Sadly, everybody gets offended, and sadly, I think it's not tenable anymore to expect this in theaters. I've seen some, but not a lot. Nowadays, you have to go to Deadpool for your comedy. So anyway, guys, I hope you liked my personal review of Dumb and Dumber from 1994. And once again, if you like comedy movies at all, and for some reason you've never checked it out, please do yourself a favor and have a good laugh, because we could all use one. Until next time, this has been RJ from Game News USA, signing out. Have a good one.